So it's currently pouring outside, so I don't have a lot of natural light. But I do have the windows open, so as much natural light as there is during an incredibly bad rainstorm, that's what we have. So today we're looking at new products. I have Victoria Beckham, Hermes, and Tom Ford. All of them performed far better than I thought they were going to. We'll get into the details. I will say that my favorite things of all of them are the Hermes, which was a surprise. So let's dive in. So if you haven't watched my channel before, hi, my name is Jennifer, and years ago, I was a makeup artist for Chanel. Haven't done that, like I said, for quite some time. I'm focused on all things luxury, beauty, fashion, etc. I usually upload 3 times a week. Sometimes that schedule has to change because I have a full-time job, which is very much away from the beauty space and takes up a great deal of time. But I do try to have 3 videos a week if I can on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, usually. So today I picked up 2 of the new Hermes blushes. I picked up one of the Tom Ford Soleil highlighters. This is Oasis. I decided not to pick up the really gold one. I'll explain in a second. And on my eyes, I have the Victoria Beckham Eyewear Longwear Crease Proof Eyeshadow Sticks in 2 shades. And then I also have the new brow pencil, which I'll talk about. First, let's talk about the Victoria Beckham sticks. So the shades that I picked up are shades that are really, you know, very simple to use, kind of everyday shades that I thought would work for a very quick look. Running out the door, appropriate for a Zoom call, that type of thing. And those shades are Oyster, which is like a shimmery silver, an oyster shade, and Trench, which is the easiest way to say what this is basically tan. That's what it looks like to me. Looks like tan. So here's Oyster, here's Trench. Now, I do have video of me putting these on my eyes so you can see, and I'll put it up over here. But I'll tell you, it actually worked extremely well. Really easy to put on the eye. And as far as I can tell, you know, has not moved since. Now, I'll have to give you an update on how it wears throughout the day, but I have to say, easy to use, you know, dried very easily, but gave me some time to use a brush if I wanted to, which is what I did with the first pass. But if you leave it on for a while, leave it on the back of my hand, it does, you know, stay on your eyelids. So if you have oily eyelids, this might be a great product for you. I have dry eyelids. I haven't had any problems with them. They feel very comfortable and they didn't accentuate any texture or dry out my lids. But yeah, I think it's a really good product and I would pick up more of these shades. What I would say is I don't think there's a tremendous amount of pigment in these. So I am very pale. I have a very pale skin tone. For Chanel, I'm like a BR12. So I'm, you know, I have lighter skin and the shades were not extremely pigmented. So now it could just be the Trench and the Oyster because they're lighter shades in general, but I will say they don't show up as, you know, super pigmented on my eyelid. So I'm definitely going to try other shades to see how they, you know, how they work on me. So I've had this on my back of my hand for a while. Let's use a microfiber towel. If I rub really hard, they do come off, but you know, a little bit, but mostly they stay, which is what you want. You want something that's gonna stay on your lids and be pretty much smudge proof. So yeah, I definitely want to try more shades. I'm impressed with the way they went on. They haven't creased. I've used them a couple times. They have not creased at all, I will say. When they dry down, they are dry. So I haven't had any problems with that. My eyelids are dry, like I said, so I don't really have problems with creasing, but still, I mean, you know, 8-hour day and they don't crease, so far so good. I really like them, like I said, Trench and Oyster basic shades that I thought would be like good for, you know, an everyday easy look. The Trench, like I said, is basically tan and Oyster is a pearlescent kind of gray shade. But yeah, I definitely want to try more. The brow pencil. So this is the new one that just came out, and it's called a baby blade. I understand why they call it that. The blade is very, very thin, which is actually great because if you're trying to draw individual hairs on your eyebrows, you need a thin brow pencil. I have this in light brown, and this is fine for my eyebrows. So I would say, you know, trying to figure out which shade you are, the light brown is deeper than you might think. It has some warmth to it. My hair has some warmth to it. If you're looking for something that, you know, is a deeper shade, I think it was like brown or medium brown, but this is the light brown. So you can see it's not that light, but it works really well with my brow color. So yeah, I'm gonna keep using this, but I do like it. I like the fact that it's a very narrow, very small pencil, and then I like the spoolie. It's very stiff, and it really like gets in there and, you know, puts the brow product where you want it to be. I was impressed with that. So I really like that. So the Victoria Beckham products I think are really good. The only thing I would say is, like I said, I don't think they're that pigmented, which I think is kind of interesting. But anyway, let's talk Tom Ford and then we'll do Hermes last. So Tom Ford, I'll put up the video of me putting this on. So this is the Oasis, and this is what it looks like. Love the packaging. Love what Tom Ford did with that, like the gold on gold on gold. I've gotten fingerprints all over it, but you know, I think that's really pretty. The thing is though, a couple things to say, and I'm just pulling up the site so I can make sure I have the right information as I'm saying it to you. This is the Soleil de Faux Shimmering Highlighting Powder. So there's Mirage and Oasis. Mirage is, and I've seen swatches. It's gold. It's like gold dust. The Mirage is for somebody who's looking for that, you know, golden, very warm, almost like speckling of gold dust kind of look. The Oasis is what I have, has a cooler tone to it. But I gotta say, guys, I don't think there's that much difference. When I saw the swatches, I didn't see a tremendous difference between the two. So that's what I want to say. I'm going to put this right here. So I think this is a very pretty highlighter, but it is deep and it's going to work as more of like a blush topper for anybody who is pale or light. For a deeper skin tone, I think it's going to be beautiful. But you can see on my skin, I put it on over the Hermes blushes. It's intense. Like, it's a beautiful glow, but it's an intense color. And so it is cooler. It has like a pinker, rosier shade than the Mirage, which is just pure gold. But I think it's going to be one of those things that I use almost as blush, like a highlighting blush. I don't think I'm going to use it as just highlighter. It's too deep. The formula is beautiful. It's also $95. $95. And the blush highlighters, the illuminating powder duos that came out before, here is Mood Light. Here's my old Mood Light. And it looks like this. There's duos in here, right? You've got the different shades. I'm going to show you what that one looks like. That was like $90. And you got two shades. So I'm kind of like, really? Now you can see the shades, the Mood Light has a cooler base. This is warmer, it has more like peach to it. The lighter shade in here is obviously a very high, you know, very light highlighting shade. So I'm not going to pull that one out. But the price seems like a lot for one shade of highlighter. $95. I will say everything seems to be, the prices seem to be exaggerated lately. We're gonna do Peach Light. I feel like I've been looking at prices lately and everything has just been like way, just huge increases on everything. So, you know, I know there's supply chain issues and all that, but I feel like in some cases it's just an increase of cost passed on to us. So here's Peach Light. Again, this is pinker than the new one, the Oasis. And then the last one that I had, because I didn't get all of them, was Nude Light, which is definitely more gold. I'm gonna bet this one looks more like, yeah, I think this one looks more like the Mirage. See how gold that is? So yeah, I mean, I think if you're looking at, if you like this one, you like a little gold shade, I think the Mirage is the right way to go. If you like something a little peachier, almost apricot, then the Oasis is the way to go for you. The Mirage, I don't plan to pick up because I will never wear a gold, bright gold highlight. It's just not something I'm gonna do. And it's pretty deep. It's similar to this, so it's not something that could even, you know, use as like a dusting of gold, because it's gonna be too deep for me. But if you love a gold highlighter and you love something that's very pigmented, these are very pigmented. I'd say the Mirage is yellow gold, and the Oasis is more of like a peachy apricot kind of gold. I do think it looks beautiful on the skin. It does accentuate texture, partially because it is such a deep shade on me. You're just gonna see that. But, you know, if you have a deeper skin tone, or if you just really want something that's, you know, a deeper highlighting shade and use it as like a you know, blush topper or a highlighted blush, then I think you'll like this. It's not that there's anything wrong with the product. The product itself is very pretty. I'm not in love with the shade, but again, it's too deep for me, and $95 is quite a bit of money just to pay for a highlighting powder. So now let's talk about the Hermes blushes. I am very surprised to say that I really like these. Well, first of all, I will say they are expensive. They're $83. $83 is quite a bit of money, but these are Hermes. Just let's keep that in mind. So everything they have is very expensive. So they are refillable. They are in the same cases that they've always been in. I'll show them to you in a moment. And I'm just looking for size. We've got 0.23 ounces. I think that's the same size as they've been before. So the difference between these and the other Hermes blushes that I've had before, and I'm going to swatch them all the ones I have in my collection, and then these two, is that these are considered a blush with an iridescent finish, which I think I just like so much more on my skin, because my skin is dry and more mature, and I think a matte blush, even a satin matte blush, is not as attractive. But then something that's too shiny, that's like too, you know, sparkly or something, can actually make my skin look older. So this is a really excellent balance of that. So it says, Silky Blush features an ultralight pigmented texture that is both airy and compact, enriched with a subtle mother of pearl microparticles for a delicately iridescent finish, which I agree. It's just a little bit of iridescence and not a lot. So I really think they did a good job. I don't have all three shades. I just picked up two, the Rose Doré and the Rose Ombre. So I have both on my face. And again, I have the video going up. I'm gonna do the Rose Doré first. And I have to say that I'm impressed at how they look on my skin. I think they look very pretty. There is, you know, an iridescence, as it says, a mother of pearl kind of finish to these. This is the Rose Doré. But I really like the way that this looks on my skin. Again, my skin is drier, more mature skin. You know, I have rosacea. So I don't like things that are like super shiny. This is the Rose Ombre, or, you know, too glittery by any means. These strike a really good balance. And that's this one. So I'm impressed with both these shades. This is more of a rose pink. This has a little bit more of like a coral, a little bit of more peach in it. I'm impressed with both of them. I can absolutely tell you that it's a really nice finish on the skin. Really beautiful, but pigmented. Pigmented enough, like I built it up because I have 2 different shades on, but really, like I was very impressed. So I'm gonna show you the other shades of Hermes blush that I have, so maybe you can see the difference in like the finish. So this is the Rose Pommet. I think there's like a flatness to the Hermes blushes. This is Rose Faux. And it's not that these aren't good blushes, because they are good blushes and they're actually quite pigmented, and the design is actually, you know, not my favorite, but I like the design element and the fact that it's relatively simple. I like the fact that it's refillable, although I haven't seen the refills. This is Rose Blush. So I feel like, you know, I should maybe bring these out more and try them more often. Maybe I'm just, you know, I have so much blush that I'm not using them. This is Rose Plume. But I just feel like every time I go to use them, they feel flat on my skin. I don't know, I think they make my skin look a little bit drier than it is. This is Rose Apricot. But, you know, maybe I'm not being fair enough and need to wear them again, try them out more often. That's the Apricot, Rose Ombre, but as you can see, I have a lot of them. Rose Ombre is probably my favorite of all of them that I had before. Rose Nuit. And again, I think it just might be that I like something with a little bit of iridescence, a little bit of shimmer, and then the last one's Rose Tan. A little bit of, makes my skin look like a little bit dewy, I guess is the word, where the rest of these do not. The rest of them have, you know, a semi-matte finish. The way they describe it is often like resembling a silk twill, which is a great fabric and I don't have a problem with it, but I feel like on my skin it's just not as flattering. I mean, I don't know what else to say. The shades are great, they're pigmented. Like I said, the cases are, you know, well done and understated, and I like the fact they're refillable. They're still $83 for blush, but of all of these, my eye immediately goes to these 2 that have this sort of iridescent finish, which I feel like just works better for me, for my skin being dry and older. I don't know, it gives a dewiness, a lightness, a brightness to my skin that these tend not to do. So if you're somebody who likes the semi-matte nature, the silk twill fabric feel look of the Hermes blushes, you might not like the new blushes because they are iridescent. And iridescence can bring out texture more. I don't feel like these do that, but you know, that is an issue. A matte will not have that. Or if you're somebody who has, like, frankly, really oily skin and you dislike a shiny look or a dewy look, again, these might not be up your alley, but I really like these and I will be wearing these a lot. I think they're both really, really beautiful, and I'm very excited that I picked them up. So I'm trying to remember. All right, and the other shade was Rose Couvre. Why can't I speak? Rose Couvre, which they describe as a powerful crimson pink elevated by dazzling hints of gold. To be honest, it might be a little deep for me, but I actually do want to get it because I really like the way that these look on the skin. I really enjoyed this formula. I think it's really good. It's a very airy, very light texture, but it has definite pigment to it. So I'm impressed. I really do like them. Again, they're $83, so I don't love that part, but you know, I get it. It's Hermes. These are made in Italy, and there is a scent. There is a light scent to these, and I'm not sure what it is. It's a perfume, but it's actually very, I mean, I find it very pleasant. It's a little bit of a floral, but it's light. But if you don't like perfume, or you don't want perfume in your product, yeah, I would definitely say there's something in there. I'm looking at the back to see if it says parfum. Yeah, you can smell it. Like I said, it's light and it's pleasant, but there is perfume in there. So to wrap up, Victoria Beckham eye sticks, once you put them on your eye and you wait a couple minutes, those things are down. They're not moving, but you can blend them out when you first put them on the eye. You have a little bit of time. I don't think they're very pigmented. That's the only thing I would say. Like I feel like I'm very pale, and you know, you don't get a lot of color here, a lot of pigment here, but I haven't tried the other shades. So maybe the other shades are very pigmented, but these didn't seem particularly pigmented. The brow pencil, I really like. The light brown is not that light. If I can wear light brown, I mean, my hair is a little bit deeper. So when you're trying to figure out shades, hopefully that will help you in the swatches that I did on my hand. The Tom Ford highlighter, it just seems like a deep shade. I'm glad that, you know, Tom Ford and Chanel and others are recognizing that we need different pigments and different deepness of shades. That's great. But both of them are very pigmented and would not work for me as a highlighter, as a pure highlighter, unless I just dusted them on very lightly with a very large brush. This one, Oasis, is a little bit peachier, pinkier, but it's not really cool toned. It's still gold. The two look very similar, in my opinion, from the swatches that I've seen. I did not buy both. And then the Hermes blushes, these new iridescent ones, I really like. So again, if you liked the Hermes blushes, the semi-matte ones, you might not like these because these are it is a different formula. And it's an airier, lighter, mother of pearl, you know, iridescent look, but I really like them. I'm not saying they're worth $83, but I'll definitely wear these. I think they're both beautiful. And, you know, to be honest, they're both great shades, but the ombre has more of that amber. Amber is a great way to describe it. It's more of that, like, a little bit of a warmth, almost coral, and the doré is like a rose pink. Both are beautiful, and I really like them, but there's a little bit of a scent. Okay, guys, that's it for right now. I will be doing an update video where I do updates about how I feel about all these products and others that I've tried over the last couple of weeks, and more to come. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it. I hope to see you in another video really soon.